I'm 70 years old.
Then you don't lay a hand. Don't lay a hand on us. You're the one who's abused. By the way, you're on camera.
And you hate people.
By the way, you're on camera. I don't hate you. I don't hate this flaming sodomite.
Broke this.
David Menzies for Rebel News here in Oshawa, Ontario, and I'm with Pastor Jeffrey Saposinic. And folks, this is a story about the unholy trinity of two-tier policing, censorship, and the quashing of free speech. Indeed, Jeffrey's story is about how all our freedoms are under attack in our once great dominion. Freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom to worship, freedom of the press. It just goes on and on. And in terms of the double standard, perhaps triple standard, if you're a radicalized member of the LGBT, etc. community, you can dye your hair purple, sport 5 nose rings, go naked in public. The police will turn a blind eye and a deaf ear. They're not going to charge you. If you're one of the pro-Hamas demonstrators, you can show up on a weekly basis in a Jewish neighborhood and openly chant genocide, display the swastika, cosplay as the terrorist mastermind Sinwar. And what will the cops do? Well, on cold days, they will bring you coffee and Timbits. Unbelievable. And so, Jeffrey, let's go back a few weeks ago. You're in downtown Toronto at the corner of Queen and Peter Streets, I believe. Correct, yeah. You're there just to preach the gospel, not hatred like the aforementioned group I just alluded to. What happened?
What basically happened, and obviously this goes back, there's a track record of this 2 years ago, but on that specific day, we had actually started out at Queen and John, and then we moved down to Adelaide, and then we finished off at Peter Street. Okay. At every incident, I had a police officer within 10 minutes. Right?
For what?
And they wouldn't confront me. They were just there listening. And then, you know, by the time we hit Peter Street, and we were preaching for 5 hours. You're looking, going back 9 days ago now. I believe it was on the 16th. What happened was that we had a gentleman from across the street, and I hesitate to use the term gentleman. He wasn't really gentlemanly. He basically, he was offended at the preaching, and I'm used to that. Yeah. As a preacher, the gospel does offend. You know, there's some that will say, you know, will high five us, and many will just hate the message. And I'm very point blank, as you mentioned, there are certain communities. I do not hate them. I do not advocate for the eradication of any group. Right. Okay. What I do preach is the salvation through Jesus Christ, the gospel message. These are your sins. This is what I was saved out of, not those specific sins, but I was saved out of a very wretched life. And this is the message I'm preaching. It's actually a message of hope, a message of love. And we do focus on the love as well as the holiness, righteousness, and justice of God. So it's a very all-encompassing message.
And luckily, it's not a he said, she said sort of situation. You and your followers, you typically sport GoPros, such as the lay of the land these days. And, you know, folks, what Jeffrey's saying is not conjecture. Check out this individual who was not only verbally abusive, but he got physical. Check it out.
With high on pharmacia, drugs.
It's anti-gay, anti-people.
No, actually I am anti-sodomy. Yes, I am.
I'm gay.
But I'm pro.
What do you do about it?
Nothing.
Fuck you.
Preach to you, you reprobate. Preach to you.
If you touch me,
Dude, I got
Well, you know, you're hey.
Hey! Fucking idiot.
Really? What did this? What are you doing? Why are you gonna hit me? Oh, you're hitting a senior citizen. I'm 70 years old.
Then you don't lay a hand. Don't lay a hand on us. You're the one who's abused. By the way, you're on camera.
And you hate people.
By the way, you're on camera. I don't hate you. I don't hate this flaming sodomite.
Broke this.
There you have it, Jeffrey. He did assault right on camera.
He basically went after one of the members of my church. He went after me first because I was preaching there, and he tried to grab the mic, but he didn't grab it. Right. And then he went after Brad in our church's GoPro, and he actually grabbed it and ripped it off. Right. And he cut himself in his arm, and he had blood there, right, and all of that. And he went away for a bit, but once we finished preaching, the police who were waiting around the corner, he immediately went to the police and said, "This man assaulted us." And he called out Jay, the black gentleman in our group, the one black gentleman that we have in our group here.
And the police arrive on the scene. We have video of that too, because the police made an arrest, but they arrested the victim, not the offender. I'm not making this up. Check it out.
Oh, sir.
This man here
No, right.
assaulted me.
Okay, let's put this down. We have witnesses, by the way.
Good, you got video. Awesome. You got hateful right here.
I don't. By the way, we have it on camera, so if you arrest him, we have it on camera. Oh, wait, they're arresting Jay. Get this on camera. Okay, can you arrest him? He assaulted us then. He assaulted us. He grabbed
him first. That guy grabbed him.
So if you're gonna be fair, gentlemen.
So first of all, Jeffrey, that's outrageous based on hearsay that they immediately arrest your colleague. And I thought it was interesting too. He says in the video at some point, "I'm gay and I'm 70. Yeah, so what?
Exactly.
That makes you immune from the law. But I guess that's the level of entitlement when it comes to certain groups.
That's correct, absolutely. And
Okay.
it's like, and the thing, what's happened from my experience personally over the last, especially over the last, I've been preaching for many years, but the last 3 years it's been very concentrated.
Yes.
And that goes back to May of 2023, when I was first, when that whole issue of spewing quote unquote hate speech was first addressed.
Yes.
So automatically in their head, they're thinking, right, because they're allowed to get away with it, and they have. And you could see that, like, from my experience, that they are taking sides. Absolutely. Not once, I shouldn't say not once, but on very few occasions, every time they get a complaint, we have to move. This is my side of my belief, is that they want to break down, if you will, that the Judeo-Christian foundation. I hate to use that term, but that's what it is really. It's a biblical term, or at least the biblical foundations of what our nation was founded on. They want to really break that down.
You know what? I can't argue with that premise, because that's what it looks like to me. And you told me off camera, and I remember laughing out loud that the police were saying, well, it's not like we're banning you. We're just going to ban you from downtown Toronto. But their definition of downtown Toronto, can you tell me the boundaries?
Okay, so going back to November of 2023. Now, whether you agree with me being at the Santa Claus parade there, and I had the goal of actually preaching before the parade came in. That's what it was.
Okay.
So I only managed to preach for 7 minutes.
And you weren't interfering with the parade?
No.
Okay.
Well, the goal was not to. It was to remove myself, preach to the crowd, because obviously you cannot preach when all the floats are and you just have all that noise in the background. Yeah. So I was arrested under Section 176(2) of the Criminal Code of Canada. It was basically disturbing either a religious or benevolent gathering. That's what that is. It's really intended for. It's really.
Wait a minute. The Santa Claus parade is a religious gathering.
Exactly.
I guess, Jeffrey, in some cultures, Santa Claus is referred to Saint Nicholas. Other than that, I don't have a connection. Well,
they arrested me they ended up charging me under that, and I spent the night in jail because I would not agree to the release conditions. Were basically, they were territorial restrictions from Victoria Park in the east, the border of Scarborough, all the way down, right up to the 401, right across to the 427, all the way down. I would not be allowed to even step foot.
You've got a court date coming up in the dates ahead. What's the charge, and can you tell us about your defense?
A couple of weeks ago, actually, it's going back now to mid-July now, I was charged again at the corner of Bloor and Runnymede.
Okay.
For causing a disturbance by shouting under Section 175(1) of the Criminal Code of Canada. They let me go with no undertaking, so there's no conditions other than the promise to appear for fingerprinting, obviously, which I did, and the mug shots and all that, and a court date, the first court date of August the 29th, this Friday. We give space so people can pass.
Yeah.
I don't want to get in their way.
They don't.
Absolutely, right? No, they don't. They get in our face and all of that. So, yeah, absolutely, we abide by it, and I will be continuing to do what I do, what I've been called to do. That's what we've been called to do, and as long as we have the freedom to do it, and even if we don't, I'll still be doing it.
So, Jeffrey, I guess one final thing. When will you next be street preaching? Because maybe people who support freedom of speech and maybe people who like your message want to show up. When and where will it be?
It'll be, we're planning this Saturday, August the 30th,
Okay.
around 3 p.m., around that time,
Okay.
approximately. So
Whereabouts?
it'll be, again, it'll be Queen and Peter Street, Queen and Peter.
Okay, then. All right, then. Well, there you have it, folks. That is where Jeffrey will be. And you know what? That's going to be where Rebel News will be as well. We want to witness what's going to happen. Is some snowflake going to get offended by the Christian gospel and call police? And will the police reinvent themselves as the Gestapo and shut it down and arrest the victims and not those carrying out assault? We'll have our cameras at that corner this coming Saturday. Stay tuned for further developments. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Hey folks, I know you love it when Rebel News brings you the other side of the story because, quite frankly, can you depend on Mark Carney's trained SEALs in the mainstream media? But here's the thing, we need your help. If you can, kindly go to rebelfieldreports.com. That's rebelfieldreports.com. And if you're in a position, please make a donation so that Rebel News can continue to bring you the other side of the story.